All right, what is going on, folks? Welcome back to the one and only Wrestling Otaku channel. Of course, your personification of excellence on YouTube and YWC, where the best reviews wrestling, and your three-time YWC channel of the year. And I'm back here. It is now Sunday night, March the 1st of 2026. So I hope y'all had a good weekend, man. And we are officially here in the month of March, the third month of the year of 2026. So far so good. I mean, 2026 has been, we're 3 months in now, and so yeah, I'd say that so far so good. Nothing too bad has happened, at least not yet. But yeah, so hope y'all have had a good one, a good weekend, and so yeah, going forward, hope y'all will have a good week. And want to get back to doing some regular uploads. It's been a while since I did a standard upload. I've mostly been doing short videos, and I've been streaming, Apex on my Twitch, and uploading Apex clips on my Wrestling Otaku gaming channel, and so on and so forth. And more content to come for sure, especially this week. Just got to get back into the swing of doing regular uploads, which you'll be seeing more videos certainly within the next few days, so be looking out for that. But real quickly, with this video, I want to go ahead and talk about something that came to my attention, something that happened last night. Of course, we had AEW Collision, which I called the back end of. I of course, had a late day at work, but I called the back end of Collision, and it got the results. So, decent show there, and more implications for AEW's Revolution pay-per-view, which is coming up in about, another week or so, I think week and a half or so. I can't remember the exact date, but I know it's like mid-March, or the second week of March. But anyway, so something else happened, and that is that WWE had their latest pay-per-view, that being Elimination Chamber, which emanated from Chicago. And so I didn't really necessarily pay attention to that. I literally didn't even know WWE had I literally didn't even know that Elimination Chamber was this weekend until I checked social media right after I got off work, and I saw people talking about it. And there was one specific thing that people were talking about. Well, actually two things. It's something that happened in the Elimination Chamber, which I may make mention of here, or I may do in a future video. But there was one thing that happened here, one debut that happened on the show, and that debut is of a new wrestler who made their first ever appearance in WWE, and everybody's talking about it. More so, people are talking about how, disappointing it was, or how just it was just like, it was more of a kind of a failure on this wrestler's part and a failure on WWE's part. So yeah, just want to talk about the WWE debut of one Danhausen. Yes, you heard me right, Danhausen. Danhausen debuted in WWE at Elimination Chamber. So basically what it was a week or two ago, a couple weeks ago, WWE basically showed this, they basically had this thing where they had like a box or something on one of their shows, on their, weekly TV shows or some shit like that. And basically the whole thing was, there was a box, and it had on it, do not open until February 28th, which was, of course, Saturday, which is, of course, Elimination Chamber. So everybody was speculating what's in the box and blah, blah, blah. And, people were making a big deal out of it. People were comparing it to, what happened at Survivor Series in the 90s with the gobbledygooker and shit. And, people were wondering, like, what all's in this box, like, or, who's gonna debut, because, everybody was saying, it's gonna be a debut or some shit, or a re-return or whatever. I think some people were even speculating there was Chris Jericho that's gonna be in the box, but so much for that. But anyway, so we get to Saturday, and there was a segment on the pay-per-view where the box was brought out on stage in the arena, or of course on stage on the rampway or whatever. So then the box, and I saw this clip on social media, by the way. I saw it on I believe it was Blue Sky. So the people, who the fuck ever, whoever the general managers are, who the hell ever, Adam Pearce, I think, and whoever, they had this box on stage. Then the box opens, and then we see a casket. Then the casket opens, and then eventually out strolls Danhausen. And he had a bunch of, there was a bunch of, girls who came to ringside, and they all had the face paint and shit, and they had, tight suits on or whatever, and, or whatever the hell attire they had on, they were dancing and shit, and then Danhausen came out, and, and so, yeah, so this whole thing, this whole box thing, or segment or whatever, or, whatever you want to call it, was all set up for Danhausen to make his WWE debut. And apparently what happened was when he came out and he made his way down to the ring and they had his entrance, or I guess his entrance or whatever, the crowd didn't really react much at all. And the only reaction that we really heard was boos. And boy, were people talking about this. People were talking about the crowd was dead, the crowd was booing, and so on and so forth. Like the crowd, like the audience in Chicago did not care for this, like at all. They did not care for Danhausen's debut at all. And to me, it's like, wow, what a debut there. What a fucking debut for Danhausen at WWE, huh? He comes out to no reaction and fucking boos. Oh my god, that is so hilarious. So yet again, another flopped debut, another botched debut for WWE for a new talent. First it was fucking Powerhouse Hobbs, aka Royce Keys, who we haven't seen since. I think he made one appearance on SmackDown or some shit since then. I think he wrestled in a match, something like that, or whatever. So first you had that at the Royal Rumble, and now you got fucking Danhausen appearing, surprise appearance, surprise debut, and he gets fucking no reaction, and he gets booed, even though he's technically, I guess, supposed to be a baby. I don't know if he's a babyface or heel or whatever, but the crowd in Chicago did not give a fuck, and I find that hilarious. So WWE flops another WWE flops another debut again. WWE fails again, and it's just so funny. It's so funny to see this shit. It's like here WWE goes attempting to take another talent from AEW, and they fucking, and of all people that they're gonna debut in this manner, it has to be Danhausen. It's like they tried to make a big deal out of Danhausen appearing on pay-per-view in WWE. That's hilarious, dude. Oh my god, what a botch, what a flop, dude. What an absolute flop. And let me just say this right now for anybody who's going to ask or say or anything smart. I personally, and I think I've stated this before, I don't really care personally for Danhausen. Like, I don't hate him necessarily, but he's just like, what his persona, his whole thing, obviously he was made as a gimmick wrestler, as a comedic relief wrestler, right? His whole thing, his whole shtick was comedic relief, okay? And it was throughout the majority of his career. And personally, I just didn't really care for him. Like, he was never my favorite. Like I said, I didn't hate him necessarily, but he wasn't my favorite. He just wasn't my cup of tea. I didn't care for him when he was in Ring of Honor when he first appeared. I didn't care for him in AEW, in the time that he was there. Granted, he wasn't there for very long. He made appearances here and there. He was part of like Orange Cassidy's group, the Best Friends or whatever. He had that affiliation. Didn't really care for him in the stuff he did there. And I definitely don't care for him now that he's in WWE. Especially with all this stuff, like with him, the way he was ousted from AEW or the way he left AEW when he was talking all this stuff on social media and this, that, and the third, and people were, saying whatever because that's what people do. They try to rag on AEW any way they can. And I definitely don't care for him now. Now that he's in WWE, and this botched fucking debut to me is absolutely hilarious. So way to go, WWE. Way to go. You flop another debut. And that's apparently not the only flop they had on this pay-per-view. So apparently, and I only know the result of one match just based on what people are talking about. But apparently in the men's elimination chamber, I think I forget who the hell. I think Randy Orton was the one who won it, who won the men's elimination chamber. So it's going to be Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE title at WrestleMania, and everybody was, raging about this. Everybody said it should have been LA Knight, which it should have. But you people had to have known by now they were never going to give LA Knight the victory here. They were never going to give LA Knight a title push. They're never going to do it. No matter how much the crowd gets behind him, no matter how much the fans get behind him, how much fan support he has, WWE is never going to do it. They are never going to give this man the time of day. And it is what it is on that. And people have to accept it. So it's going to be Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for WrestleMania for the WWE title. Whoopee! Yay! last minute bullshit. It's like it's WWE for you. They're creatively bankrupt. I mean, let's just be real. They're creatively bankrupt. But anyway, I just thought it was funny. I thought it was hilarious. WWE debuting Danhausen here in this manner, and it was a complete flop. Like based on everything, all things considered, it was a complete flop. So yeah, there you go. Just I thought I'd talk about that briefly. But yeah, so where do they go from here? Like how exactly are they going to portray Danhausen from here? It's like it doesn't matter what they do. He's more than likely going to be a jobber, obviously. I mean, based on that reaction, yeah, he WWE is not. I guarantee you, WWE is not happy with that reaction. So he's likely going to be a jobber. He's going to job. I mean, pretty much he was a jobber for, a lower, undercard guy, and he's likely going to be the same here. He's just going to be he's going to job out to everybody. That's just what it is. That's likely going to be his role in WWE. I mean, he was a gimmick wrestler. He's a comedic relief wrestler. So and all that stuff, all that back and forth with him and the manner in which he left AEW, and yeah, and that's what you go to WWE, and that's what you get. So yeah, there you go. But I just thought it was funny. I thought it was hilarious. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say for that. So yeah, WWE Elimination Chamber Danhausen debut, another flop by WWE. Priceless, absolutely priceless. But anyway, that's pretty much all I got to say for that. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, give me your thoughts on anything I talked about here. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Appreciate all the support I can get. If that being said, it's pretty much going to do it. Thanks for watching again. Till next time, Wrestling Otaku, I'm out. See you guys later. Peace.